challenge us to work in a fast-paced environment. Learn quickly, fail fast, adapt to change. We're able to adapt to change. I think someone asked the question earlier, because we have these short cycles, we're able to say, okay, let's focus here, but something else changed down the line, absolutely, let's incorporate those changes, make sure we're building the right thing. If I, again, having been a traditional project manager, as soon as I baseline my project, something changes. I got to re-baseline it. You're doing that every day. It's awesome. And because the nature of the beast is that things are constantly changing, or we didn't think of things up front. And so we constantly have to fine tune. So a number of organizations are adopting Agile ways of working across throughout. What's preventing us? Probably culture, partly. Knowledge, another part. Without knowledge or what's that? Not recognizing the benefit. How might someone recognize the benefit? What type of organization are we? Performance-based. We're a financial company, so we like numbers, right? So what numbers would show we're doing well?
What Daniel suggested, in retrospect to this program, showing that
I think the biggest thing is you're delighting your customer, you're making your customers happy, so you're delivering results that meet or exceed their expectations, right?
Yeah, when our customers are talking
Yeah.
and saying, you guys have done a bang-up job, this is awesome, thank you for everything that you do for us, that goes a long way to. You guys have questions on this? Right. Yes, sir?
Thing that I think we mentioned yesterday, we have to do on the basis of regulatory requirements, which is really rich.
How so?
Because if you are required by the government to perform a certain step that slows down the process,
Are we unique in that way?
we're in a very small group. I mean, there's several different aspects of training with Agile, and I'll say that Agile does not work well in a highly regulated environment.
I feel like almost
So
right
I'd
in
argue-
that.
Sorry.
We listened to a conference in Orlando this past April, and I attended an open space session for a company, they do FDA regulated products that are actually delivering medication that's life or death, right? And they practice, they have a mindset of Agile. And the way that they approach it is they just try to expose all the risks and try to mitigate them as quickly as possible so they set themselves up for success. Because in their case, they can't have any qualities at all. They have to get it done at a certain time from a regulation standpoint, so.
I think it goes back to the mindset that Aaron talked about yesterday. I mean, like, this is the mindset that some of the training puts out there saying that if you're in a highly regulated environment, that this Agile does not work well. Maybe that's a bad mindset. I'm not-
It's a different challenge, but I mean, John was gonna speak up, he had a major regulation and they got it done.
I mean, what's the difference between it's broke, we need to fix it now, or on September 30th, we need to fix it this? And the government's just giving us another thing to do, and there are. You move, maybe you move a priority, maybe your product owner says, oh, okay, well, I guess I can't have feature X, Y, Z if the government now tells us we have to have CR, PDQ. So we'll just
Here's the good and bad thing about the internet, right? There's really good information, really bad information. The other thing is that anyone is share opinions, right? And I don't know what to think of that, other than there's all also the other side, which says it works well. Okay, so we heard this counterpoint, point, counterpoint. And I think you can find that in any of this information. So we have to dissect that and say, how does this fit with us? And for me, I always ask questions. What about it won't work? Why would, regardless of method that I use, whether I'm using traditional project management or whether I'm using Agile, I always try to look at this systemic problem, like we talked about, if it's a communication problem, well, that's not an Agile thing or traditional. That's just a behavioral thing.
Or mindset.
Or mindset. And so address those types of things before we go down a path that this won't work or will work. Start doing some, having some discussions around that, right? So I've read those types of things where, I've even seen things where it says Scrum won't work in this type of work. I go, well, I don't know what about that type of work won't allow Scrum to work, but I'm listening. And ask questions, right? So,
I can see where your customers could make it challenging for you, because they may not have all the requirements figured out. They
Yeah.
might have good ideas,
Right.
you know? But, it kind of maybe speaks to the level of maturity of your agile process and that, if it's implemented and it's working today, but there's improvements to be made, but if it's like optimized, and it's really about continuous improvement, I would think that you would need that optimized level of maturity to really be effective, highly regulated, challenging customers, like.
So I think if you get the customer involved early and explain to like what you can deliver by the date, and if you hit that date, you have so much more power after that than the previous project management style where it's sure we can deliver to you by September 1st and you deliver nothing. If you say I can deliver this to you this week, and they're part of that early conversation. I guess I don't think it even matters if you're a mature organization or not. It's more about delivering what you say you're going to deliver in that time frame. By saying I can deliver as opposed to them saying, hey, I need you to deliver to me. And if you have that conversation early and often, then you win a lot. We did something with FSA. I use an example all the time, but we went back to FSA and you thought I was pulling out teeth trying to get people to understand. I came in from outside organizations. Why are we just going to dictate when we can deliver this? Why can't we say this is the way we've never done that? Why would we do that? We can't do that. Sure enough, we went back, and we weren't the only organization that was having that problem, but we presented and said, why can we just do this piece of it, and then we'll do the second piece later on in the year? Oh yeah, sure, that's fine. And I find that all the time. People are so scared to do that they just assume that because we did it this way for so long, it needs to stay that way. And most of the time you go back to them and say, hey, I can do this, or, oh, okay, good. And if you deliver on that, then the trust, it all starts, and it's good. One last thing, Steve Denning is phenomenal. I went to this class in Orlando, this exact same presentation. Kristen. Just kidding, but if you guys are Twitter or whatever people, he's a great follow, and he wrote a great 6-part series on Microsoft going agile that you should really pick up and read. It will change your perspective on all this. Just a plug for him. Cool.
all right, quick break, and then we're doing product. It's 10.
But I'm still gonna go on and do my practice myself, and I go through it now, and I know great argue or have whatever it is. It's different. You can tell different. Yeah. It's so with your hair and your decision. Two places like it are just y'all too. Just stop. I remember that.
And I started to write stuff. I liked it because I could do and you bad deals. But when I see them,
I started getting a little bit IRS.
peaches last night, and I thought, oh, I wonder if Loretta liked her peaches, but I'm like, no, if I send her a message, then how do I put it?